An old woman lived on a farm in California. The weather was hot and dry. She worked on the farm her whole life with her husband. They owned many fields of corn. They had strong animals. But her husband died. Now she was alone. Her daughter lived with her. The daughter's husband lived there too. He was very lazy. He slept more than he worked. The old woman's knees hurt. She felt weak. Every day she sat in the hallway. She looked at the fields. She remembered her past. Her daughter was a happy child before, but now she was different. She was impatient. She did not help her mother much. Her husband worked sometimes, but most days he just lay around the house. One night they had very little food. The daughter and her husband talked quietly. The husband said, "If we do nothing, we will have nothing to eat." The daughter said coldly, "The answer is simple. Mother must leave. We need this house for ourselves." The next morning, the old woman sat in her rocking chair. She heard boxes moving. She heard fast footsteps. She heard loud voices. She went outside. She saw her daughter and son-in-law. They took her clothes outside. They took her shoes and blankets to the street. The old woman asked, "What are you doing?" Her voice shook. The daughter said, "Mother, you must go. We cannot live like this anymore. We need the space." She did not look at her mother. The old woman whispered, "Leave my own house." No one answered. The son-in-law put the last box on the ground. He closed the door hard. He went back inside. The daughter turned away. She did not touch her mother. The old woman sat on the step. She cried. She cried until the sun went down. But the old woman had a secret. Years ago, her husband was alive. They saved a lot of money. She sold some land slowly and quietly. She hid the money in a stone box. The box was near the cow pen. She never told her daughter about it. When night came, she stood up. She went to the cow pen. She moved the stones. She found the money. There was enough money to start a new life. She packed her things. She left the house. She walked slowly on the dirt road. She walked next to the cornfields. The daughter and son-in-law stayed in the old house. They slept there that night. The old woman reached another farm. The owners knew her from before. They gave her food and tea. They gave her a small room. They respected her. The next morning, she asked, "Is there any land for sale?" They said, "Yes, ma'am, there are farms nearby." She bought a large piece of land with her money. Neighbors helped her. They built a strong wooden house for her. Slowly, she rebuilt her life. She made a new friend. He was a kind boy. He helped her with small jobs. He carried water. He fed the chickens. He gathered firewood. The neighbors respected her. She smiled at everyone. She gave tea to visitors. She never talked about her daughter. The daughter and son-in-law lived in the old house. They did not work. The house fell apart. Weeds grew in the yard. They became very poor. One morning, the son-in-law wanted to find work. He walked under the hot sun. He saw a beautiful new farm. He knocked on the door. The old woman opened it. He said, "You She said calmly, "Yes." He said nervously, "I need work. I have nowhere to go." The old woman nodded. She said, "You can work here, but I have one condition. You must never tell your wife about this farm. You must never tell her about me." He said, "Okay, I promise." He worked there every day. He fed the chickens. He cleaned the yard. He helped with the small cornfield. Every day the woman asked, "How is my daughter?" He always said, "She is at home. She is doing her things." One day the daughter followed him. She found the farm. She saw the beautiful house. She saw chickens in the yard. She shouted, "All this time you lived here while I had nothing to eat." The old woman listened calmly. She asked, "Are you finished?" The daughter said, "You left me. Now you have this house. I want it." The old woman replied, "I did not give you anything because you told me to leave. You left me on the street with only my clothes and shoes." The daughter said, "But I didn't know you had money." The old woman said, "Even if you knew, it would not change anything. You still threw me out." The daughter demanded money. She demanded the house. The old woman gave her a few coins. Then she closed the door. The daughter left. She was very angry. The daughter and her husband wasted the coins. They bought only some food. They thought the mother would give them more money later. They stopped working completely. The old house fell into ruin. Later, they sold the old land and house. They got very little money for it. They thought, when mother dies, we will inherit the new farm. But they did not know something. The old woman already made a decision. She wanted the farm to go to the kind boy. He helped her when she had no one. She did not want her ungrateful daughter to have anything. The old woman became sick. She wrote a will. She wrote, "I want my daughter to have nothing. The farm will go to the boy who helped me when I had no one." She died peacefully in her bed. The daughter and son-in-law came to the farm. They knocked on the door. No one answered. Neighbors told them the old woman died. They said the farm belonged to the boy now. The daughter was shocked. The son-in-law was angry. They had no house. They had no land. They had no inheritance. The boy inherited the farm. He was humble. He was thankful. The daughter and her husband left the village. No one saw them again. This story teaches us important lessons. Family is not always grateful. Greed and selfishness bring pain and loss. But a kind heart is always remembered and rewarded.